Hello folks. Well, I'm a little late in the week, but I'm here. I hope the sound's okay here, because I'm going to be talking about Druidry generally, but mostly in the light of personal practice and how real it's got to be. And the reason I'm a bit echoey is because I'm actually looking after a shop for a friend at the moment who's been in hospital. So this is my day today. I will show you if it will let me. Let's have a look. We have lots of lovely things. But this is my day. So I'm here in the shop, and even though I'm not obviously robed and zhuzhed up for Druidry, this is still me, and this is the work that I'm doing today. So I thought this is very much keeping it real. There's a cloak there, which is far more zhuzhy than I'd wear. It's very lovely, but it's showing that more people are accepting of alternative stuff these days, which is probably why paganism as a whole is becoming so popular. A lot of people say that it's needed as well, which is true. Certainly a lot of people on the shamanic front are saying that something more is needed, something more in the way of spirituality, but the way of lived spirituality. So something we can get our teeth into and get juicy and sort of tangible spirituality. And to be fair, the nature-based faiths are about as tangible as it gets because nature is reality. This is it. And some people say it's all supernatural woo-woo stuff, and nature is by definition pretty super, but not supernatural cosmic. Space is cosmic, but it's in the sense that people mean supernatural as in otherworldly. It's kind of not, because everything natural is natural. So, you know, it's just a matter of how it's processed in terms of the foods we eat are processed, obviously. Information that we get is often processed through whatever means we're getting it. We make relatively few things ourselves. We are in a place like this, obviously, that we have to acquire the stuff that we feel reflects us and helps us to live our lives and do our thing. And that's why I think a lot of paganism is stuff-based, which I'm not entirely a fan of. A lot of people say that the spirit animal of many pagans is the magpie because of the shiny things. And, oh, I'm shaking a little bit. Let's sort this. There we go. I'm working as best I can with the technology that I have, which is my hands. So apologies for that. But yeah, a lot of the time paganism is very stuff-based, and at heart it isn't. If the stuff makes you happy and helps you do your thing, then great, that's lovely. But at heart, it's what's in your heart, isn't it? And what's in your head, and how you can honestly stand up and say, this is me and I believe in whatever it is. So for me, the thing that makes me hang my hat on Druidry is very much, I say the tangibility of it, but the realness of it. Because I like the term, and I've often used it to describe my work as being a priest of the land. And that means the land, not just the green bits, but the grey bits too, and the concrete bits. And I was learning my Druidry most at the beginning when I lived in London, and you learn about the magic in the city as well as the magic in the country. And today I'm in a small country town with so much history in a little valley. And it's very interesting to explore how this place feels, how its genius loci feels, its spirit of place, compared to my home village, how compared to London, compared to the village outside London where I lived, compared to this little tiny street, essentially, near the sea where I grew up. And each of these things is part of this land, but it's very different because each space feels different. And being here, it's actually interesting because not too far away, they've actually found markers for the spirits of the river, and they are a couple of hundred years old. They're not ancient, but it's believed that they relate to an ancient spirit that I guess the people who put the marker up wanted to respect, which is the same as we do with blue plaques nowadays on houses, isn't it? So we do remember, and where possible, we hold that and we carry it on. And this is how my Druidry expresses itself. Segue. Because I love stories. I love reading. I love writing. I love sharing stories. I love hearing stories. I've heard so many in my time, and there will be more, no doubt. But this is how I connect. This is how I connect to the world and to the people around me. It's through the stories they tell. And whether that's reaching down into the earth on the grassy park opposite, or putting a palm up against a wall and feeling what's there. It's interesting to really open yourself up to that, as I learned when I first opened myself up in the middle of London town, standing on a bridge over the Thames, which I've written about before. But the Thames has been here for a very long time, and it doesn't often get talked to, and it very much was surprised, but then enthusiastic, which is often the way of things when they're addressed. It's like you get a blast of recognition for even acknowledging that they're there, when, to be fair, the Thames can't be ignored for what it does. And I always encourage people to go out and see how things feel, whether you touch them or whether you're just feeling, sort of stretching out with your emotions and feeling what's to be felt. So sometimes you can describe that in terms of smells, like market areas often smell of chips in the UK from the chippy stands. Smells of the car exhausts if you're going through a very busy area, or smells of farms if you're in the country, which is a very unique cow smell. But then I walk up to the cows who live in the field opposite me, and they generally come by and say hello, because cows are really curious. And it's lovely. I've given them nose scratchings, and they're generally trying to work out what I'm doing, and they appreciate the attention. Again, we might not understand each other, but the connection can be felt in that I am not a threat. I'm there to be friendly. And it's about that. It's about not walking through life with your blinkers on. And some people like to use that and say, oh, you're not awake, or you're more awake than others. It's the woke thing is currently trendy. It's not so much that, it's just being aware. You can be as woke as you like, whatever that means. Generally, I take it to mean that someone cares, which is no bad thing. But you can open yourself up to things as much as you are able, because it can be overwhelming. There's a lot going on in the world. And it's finding where that connection, excuse me for shivering about, it's about that connection and what it means to you. So what it means in terms of how you connect to the world. And that can lead to how you practice your Druidry. So this starter, we've had one video, and I'm going to do a chat, which hopefully we'll record, hopefully, this weekend. But for the moment, have a think as you go about your day. Look where you are. I'm in a shop. Look where you are, feel where you are, look at the origins of what's around you. Where's it come from? What's it made of? How does it feel? How does it look? How does it taste or smell? Use what you've got. Use your skills as a human being to interpret it and feel that connection. And see how it feels to be druiding or connecting right where you are today as you walk through it. So from your house or your workplace to the place where you get your shopping or your lunch, how it feels when the family come home, or your partner or pets. Just open things up a little bit and see how things feel. And how you are processing that in here and in here. because generally you can't fake that. If you're not happy with something, if you meet someone who's uncomfortable for you, you'll feel that and acknowledge that. You don't have to say anything out loud, but acknowledge it in your brain. Just go, yes, that person makes me feel uncomfortable or scared or worried or whatever. Works the other way. If someone makes you feel so happy, acknowledge that. And that you can tell them, I think. If it's a partner or something, just say, yes, you're making me really happy today. And you look lovely today, or something like that. You can say that to strangers within reason. But it's, how are you connecting? What are you doing today? And then we'll chat about it. Have a think. Whenever you watch this, it's the day that I'm talking about it. So today is Friday. It might be a completely different day when you see this, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. How are you doing today? What are you doing today? How are you connecting today? And then I'm around if you wish to comment or ask questions or let me know how you got on, and then we'll move on to the next step. So have a good day.